Alright guys, I have the patch notes for the new Dying Light 2 update, and I gotta say, it's freaking huge. This is a really, really big update with multiple fixes and improvements and things that they're adding to the game that we really, really needed. Now this update is just for PC, but do expect this to come to consoles in the coming days. So I'm gonna try my best to read off the patch notes. There's a lot here, there's a lot to this update, and try to make the video quick. But let's get right into it, guys. I'll show you what they're doing, and we'll go from there. Okay, guys, so let's get into the story progression fixes first. This is the update is 1.2. Okay, so all known cases with death loops have been eliminated, finally. Fixed blocks and multiple quests. Here's the quest right now. Into the Dark, Assassination, Sophie in the Raid quest, Hubert in the Only Way Out, Veronica, Night Runners, The Lost Light, and Double Time. Now, let's get into the co-op fixes, okay? Stability issues fixed, crashes or black screens in certain situations, numerous story progress blocks fixed, okay? So that's really, really key. Fixed issues with accepting invites, challenges, issues fixed, no weapon when inventory is full, fixed co-op parties spawning in distant places, improved fixed replication of city open world activities, windmills, hanging cages, loot chests, NPCs, fixed enemy and players falling through the ground, several performance drops fixed. Okay, so that's the co-op fixes and the story block fixes right there. Now let's get into some other stuff here. Night Runner tool fixes, paraglider and grappling hook upgrades can be applied correctly for players that obtain them during cooperative sessions. PK crossbow reward is correctly given to players in co-op mode. This fix will prevent new cases from appearing. Let's go on to combat improvements. Improved biter behavior during the day. The enemy now latches onto the player more frequently, which diversifies enemy encounters. Performance of blunt weapons have been improved to reflect the sense of weight. Improved enemy reaction depending on the type of weapon to better reflect the weight of the weapon. Human opponents can now block players' attack during light hit reaction time. Light hit reactions for human enemies have been shortened, so that's cool. And then there's also new ragdoll behavior. Opponents enter ragdolls more often. Ragdoll works more naturally. Ragdoll behaves differently depending on the used weapon. Appropriate forces are applied when falling from a height and when hitting different parts of the body, while maintaining the force given from the direction of the blow. When a ragdoll collides with its surroundings, the appropriate sound and FXs are played depending on the surface the body falls on. Improved spike detection. The enemy is now always stamped on the spikes after a hit. Additionally, Spike's audio feedback has been improved. So that's really cool. The whole new ragdoll and improvements to combat. All right, let's move on a little bit. Okay, night improvements and balances. Howler's sense range has been increased. Increased the Howler's resistance to ranged weapons to make them harder, which is good. The chase is triggered when a Howler is hit by a ranged weapon and is still alive. Volatiles will now come out of hiding spots faster during the chase. Level 4 of the chase is now more difficult. So I know a lot of you guys have wanted a more difficult experience at nighttime. This is at least a little step in that direction. All right, there's a lot of UI improvements and UX improvements, like Survivor Sense, improvements to the options menu, so dynamic settings for players' health bar, so it's going to disappear if you're at full health. We're going to skip some of that stuff, guys, but it's on the screen if you guys want to pause it and check that out. Improvements to the final boss fight. Fix an issue where the opponent does not react correctly to other players and does not change behavior that might lead to several glitches during co-op play. Alternative opponent behaviors in co-op play. Opponent performs area attacks more frequently during co-op. And it says shortening the narrative scenes between the phases in boss fight and a boss fight pacing improvement. So they've really worked on the end boss fight for co-op play. Quattro improvements. Improvements of the game ending sequences. Additional end game scenes have been added. Balance tweaks. Higher rank bows are now more easily accessible at merchants and in the world. So that's been one of the big complaints, is that the bows and other weapons have been capped off at like level 6, and you just can't find them unless you're on PC and you mod it in. So it looks like they heard the feedback. This is really cool. All right, so they did some technical improvements, introduced high performance preset that optimizes the display graphics, which allows you to play Dying Light 2 on older computers and laptops. So for all you guys out there that have Dying Light 2 and were not able to play it on older PCs and laptops, this may allow you to do that now. PC DX12 cache-related improvements. The game is now smoother upon the first launch. AVX technology is no longer used in the game, and so I think that's pretty big. Improved outdoor lighting, sun shadows, spotlight shadows, and motion blur. Now, one of the biggest parts for me, guys, so hopefully you're still with me, is the brutality pack. Okay, this is basically a Gore Overhaul, it sounds like to me. So players hit with sharp weapons are now more precise and allow players to chop off body parts of opponents and cut them in half more easily. So now I think you could just, cut off some legs and arms. You can make some crawlers, basically. That's what it's saying. Reworked audio for enemy hit response, so different sounds are played depending on the strength of the hit, so that's real cool. Blood splats on the ground appear when the player hits the opponent, so if a player is close to the enemy during the attack, the opponent's blood will splash on the screen. Hopefully it's not too much blood on the screen, that could be a little annoying sometimes. And improved blood effects on enemy bodies after hits. A dead enemy is now interactive and reacts accurately to blows and injuries. A new effect of blood stains on the enemy's bodies after being hit. New blood FXs have been added, and numerous additional bug fixes and quality of life improvements. So guys, this is absolutely a huge freaking update by Techland on Dying Light 2. I really hope this is going to fix a lot of the issues that people are having with this game, and it's going to improve the overall, feel of the game and just the enjoyment that you get from the game. So I wanted to give you guys the patch notes. Definitely drop a like for me and subscribe to the channel. I got a bunch of Dying Light 2 content still yet to do, and I'm going to wrap this up and get out of here, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.